Hello, you're tuned in to Katie Talk 101. Thank you so much for being here. I think I am about 2 minutes late, but not too bad, not too bad. I hope you all are enjoying the Saturday night so far. Um, I ended up posting the situation about Brother Polight. And this wasn't too long ago when that situation happened, but I remember a certain comment was made, and it was made by a gentleman. And he ended up saying, looking at this situation with him, I can't do anything but blame a certain group of women. And when he ended up saying that, he said that this man has been walking around claiming that we are gods, and no one ever stepped in to basically correct him. And he felt like that's where everything came from as far as everything that's going on with him. But I'm not for sure about what's going on with young Pharaoh, but it does look like he's going through some spiritual stuff. I would say what some people may call spiritual awakening. Sometimes when you're into the spiritual world and you're playing with different deities and different spirits, and if your heart is not sincere, a lot of things can and will happen to you. Now, as far as the Brother Polite situation, I think these are two totally separate situations, but somehow it's been bundled into the same category when it comes to the Brother Polite situation. As you guys know, it was some situations about, one of his wife's children, and it was said that some things happened. Tasha K broke that story about that situation. I haven't covered the story about the Brother Polite stuff. I want more stuff to come out once the trial starts. I most definitely will talk about the Brother Polite situation once the trial takes off. But getting off into these two, with the question being asked if we are to blame, and when I say we, you know what I mean. The question is being asked if, a certain group of women are to blame for everything that they're going through. And I just look at it as these are two men who decided to start getting into the conscious community, but basically treating it like it's a hustle instead of a whole spiritual movement. And when it comes to anybody dealing with the spiritual world, period, if you go into the spiritual world and you're going into it just for money, it usually won't end well for you at all. But I just think I really do hate that people have to put both of them in the same category. I understand that both of them are from the conscious community, but as far as like pinning all of them together, I just can't really compare it. But I'm no doctor or anything like that. But it looks like young Pharaoh could be going through some substance situations, possibly. And I think sometimes you can have people around you that's just there for certain reasons. Sometimes it could be money, sometimes it could be other things, but most of the time it is money. And you have these all of these women around you, and they're just around you for the money. So if you're going through something with your mental health, or you're into substance abuse, they usually won't correct you because they're around you for a certain reason. And if they're sitting back and they're watching you self destruct and they're not bringing any correction to you, That's not a good thing. I don't see that really ending well. I remember that video that he ended up posting, and it just looked like he was just way out of his mind. He was talking about he talked to Waka Flocka, and he was saying some other things that sounded pretty dangerous. I remember he was mentioning that his bodyguard left and he took the protection with him. It was just crazy. He had like something he had something in his hand. It looked like, he was threatening. It almost appeared like he was threatening those young lady lives, but I really wouldn't go that far to say that. But it seemed like a dangerous situation. It seemed like something that could get out of hand. Big shout out to those two that are in the chat room. You guys make sure you hit that like button when you come in. But just thinking about both of them, I remember when Brother Polight kind of first hit the scene. I just remember his image and stuff like that. But I can't say it looks like, of course, once the money comes, you upgrade this, you upgrade that. But the significant change that came along in him was just a lot. And if you guys look at my thumbnail, you see when young Pharaoh was in the picture, he used to wear like the chains with the like the African symbols on them, and he used to wear like different shells and different things around his chains that were symbolic to a lot of knowledge in African culture. And I noticed once the money came in, young Pharaoh took the African culture off and he put gold chains on. Those necklaces and bracelets that he used to wear with the African beads on them, he took those off and replaced it with chains and bracelets. He replaced it with ice. So I'm like, so you come into the spiritual community, the spiritual culture, you come into the conscious community, and you're wearing all the African attire, and then once everything blows up for you and the money comes in, that's when you take off the beads and you put on a gold chain. So that's showing me really where your mind was when you got into it. You got into it speaking on other things, and you got into it thinking one way. And once the money start coming, that's when the money shows you who the real person is. When Brother Polight first came out, you seen him dressing in the dashikis, and you seen a lot of conscious appearance going on. And you seen him surrounded by all of these beautiful women, and all these women are his wives. And you see this, and then once that money start raking in, that's when you start seeing the gold chains, the gold bracelets, the gold watches, the Rolls Royces. You see him in pictures with Mayweather. You just see a big change come along. And I'm just thinking, if your mind is on bringing a change to our community, if your mind is actually on cultivating your surroundings and taking care of the wives that you have, why should anything else jump in the way of that? Why do I pull you up on Google and I see you in pictures with all of these other types of women, if you know what I mean. I see you with all these other types of women, and I see you taking pictures with a lot of celebrities, and I still see a lot of women around you, and I just think, wow, it's been a pretty big change in here. But when you come into something with a sincere heart, you won't change that drastically. I've seen certain YouTubers get on YouTube and they come on YouTube presenting themselves in one way and actually speaking one way. And once those YouTube checks start rolling in, and the subs grow, and the money rolling in, you start hearing a different talk. You're seeing a different attire. Of course, people are going to get new clothes and stuff like that. But you start making it all about, oh, look at my flashy material stuff. Look at this. Look at that. When you didn't come to us in this way. So it's making me feel like all of the conscious community, and I can't put this on the spiritual community because it's people out here in the spiritual community that are really true with what they're doing. It's a lot of people in the spiritual community that don't care about all the flashy stuff. They don't care about taking off their African symbolic beads and replacing them with gold chains and gold bracelets. You'll see people out here getting checks and sending it back to their community. And I'm like, when it comes to Brother Polight, have you heard about him having big giveaways for his community? Just being honest, in a lot of years, I haven't heard of it. I don't know about young Pharaoh. As far as, do anybody know anything about him giving back to his community? Him having any type of giveaways when it's time for kids to go back to school? All of the money that's been built up from making money from the conscious community, has he put any of this back into the community? When it comes to a lot of people, some people just want to be led. And when you're in a state where you just want to be led, that's what's going to happen. You're just going to be led. No change will come along, but you will be led. Anybody can sit back and feed you good words, but you have to test the words that they're giving you. Test them, see how they're living once they take off the dashikis, once they take off the robe, see how they're living, see how they're moving behind the scenes. When you Google their name and everything pops up, what do you see under Google? Google Brother Polight and stroll down and see, what's on there. Google young Pharaoh, stroll down. What are you gonna see? You're gonna see their works. I mean, you're gonna see what they care about. When you pull up a person's name, you're gonna see exactly what their mission statement is. I just think when it comes to your social media, what you show on there, the clips the pictures that's been taken while you're out and about, the ones that are posted to Google and the ones that pop up on Google. I mean, all of that that's your mission statement. And your mission statement, it just shows exactly who you are. It shows exactly where your heart is too. You pull up stuff about Oprah and you see lots of interviews with people, and you see a lot of different things when you pull up Oprah's name. When you pull up, let's say, Wendy Williams, when you pull up Wendy Williams, you hear a lot of scandals going on. You hear her exposing people. Google Mike Tyson, you will see stuff about a lot of boxing matches. So they're showing you basically a person mission statement. When you pull up stuff about them, it'll basically show you the whole layout, right, of how they coming. But when you just want to be led, you're just going to be led. A person can tell you anything. A pair of lips can say anything. What do you see these men out here doing? You hear a person talking about conscious and being woke and I'm for the people. Exactly what are they doing? Like exactly show me. Show me what are they doing? The moves, the actual moves, not just words. Anybody can say words. I think we have to start demanding, we really have to start demanding more than words. When you feel like you've ran into a person that you feel like you want to donate to, you want to follow them, and just sit and listen to what they're saying. Sit and listen to what they're saying. Just because some words sounding good to you, don't go giving them. Some people out here donate. I don't think it's nothing wrong with a person donating, because I feel like if a person touch you in a certain type of way and you feel like you're entertained by that person, you feel like you learn something from them. Yes, donate to them. But when it comes to certain causes that these people claim that they're for, I've heard a lot of people allegedly saying that they have been scammed by Brother Polight. It's allegedly, from what I heard, there's a brother out here who donated a lot of money to Brother Polight dealing with Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken. But I've heard he got a lot of people for a lot of money when it comes to a lot of investment scams when it comes to Brother Polight. And when you're covering up your scams with the word conscious, you're covering up all of your scams with, oh, she is God. Like you have a lot of gods around you, I guess, just kind of showing all of the wives that you have. But when you're covering up your scams with the woke and conscious community, when everything comes down, it's really, really, really going to come down. And this is just the beginning. This is just a little bitty nick, a little scratch of the surface. But trust and believe me, it's much, much more to come. Because if you get off into any spirituality movement, spirituality is a whole lifestyle. It's a whole lifestyle, and it's nothing to play with. If you get off into this community and you are not sincere at heart, bad things will happen to you. But as far as saying that our women are the cause of their fall, I think it's ridiculous. But I'm going to say this: they're between the fall of the two of them. I wouldn't say that they just completely falling off, because hey, only God has the final word. But looking at what they're both going through, I would say, you know, maybe everything is opening up for a reason. And it's just letting you know, stop playing with this spiritual world if you are not serious. If your heart is really not in it, do not tamper with this spiritual world. It will whoop you down. It will beat you down. And everybody will see you getting beat down if you think you're going to get off into this spiritual world and you're going to play and you're going to cover up this name. I'm spiritual. I'm conscious. I am a speaker, a motivational speaker for the conscious community. When you're covering up your mess with these words and you're using the spiritual world, the conscious community, people that need help, people out here that need some guidance and a real, true, sincere leader, bad things will happen to you. I remember I seen somebody comment about that down in my comment section. I'm gonna pull it up. Let me see if I can share screen and show y'all what he said, because I want you to see exactly. Yes, I ended up seeing this comment and I actually pinned it to the top. Let me share screen. You know Okay, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Somehow I ended up getting up out of the thing. You know how StreamYard, yeah, right before I got off, I said StreamYard be tripping sometime, and it started tripping on me. But yes, let me pull this up because I wanted to show y'all this brother's comment. Okay. I hope you all are enjoying your Labor Day weekend. This is officially the last weekend of the summer. And I hope you all enjoyed your summer as well. You guys make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. Okay, let me go to this comment section. Let me see, I'm gonna have to turn it down.
Young Pharaoh went live on Instagram and he appears to.
Okay, that's my video. Let me go to the comment section. And let's see. Okay, the comments down here. Okay, so I'm going to stroll it up here so you guys can see. Okay, so here it is. Let me share first. Okay, so I'm going to share. But he was saying it's crazy how you know how they say the universe can sometimes just come along and kind of ensure you of what they were trying to tell you was true. It's kind of like that situation. But I hope you guys can see it. I'm gonna stroll up. Here it is right here. Okay. So I'm just going to read it to you, but it's right here. It's pretty small. Let me see if I can make the screen just a little bigger for you so you can see. Okay, let me see. Okay, so I'm going to make it bigger. You can see it just a little bit, but I'm going to read it to you. Okay, so a brother ended up commenting under this post of Young Pharaoh, and what he said was, "This is what happens when you play with powers that are beyond your understanding, powers that were created before the language and time." And I ended up commenting, exactly, the spiritual world is no playground. If someone is practicing in the spiritual world, you have to be sincere at heart, or it will drive you crazy. When the ancestors are not pleased with you, everyone will see it. So that's what I ended up saying under that comment. And if you guys go and look under the Young Pharaoh video that I had did, you will see that comment under there. But most definitely, you can't be out here thinking that you can play around with the spiritual world and then you're making money off of it. Let me tell you this. One thing about the spiritual world, you can't be out here just for the money. Don't get me wrong. If people decide that they want to donate to you and stuff like that, that's fine. But if you're out here and you're in the spiritual world and you're just putting your cash out there and you're putting all your information out there so people can send you money just because you're handing off this knowledge from the spirit. This is the spirit knowledge, and they're using you as a vessel to pass this knowledge along. But if you're out here putting a price tag on the knowledge that's been around here since ancient time, like that brother said under the comment section, this spiritual world has been around since before God spoke this world into existence. The spiritual world, all of this stuff was here. All of the goddesses and the gods that speak to these people and give them the knowledge. And don't get me wrong, I'm not ever going to sit here and say that they didn't have the knowledge, because both of these brothers are very intelligent. Both of these brothers can sit up and have a conversation with you and talk you under the table. But if you're going into this spiritual world and your mind not right, you're out here moving around in shady ways behind closed doors. If you're preaching one thing and you're turning around doing another, that's not right. I'm telling you, the spiritual world and the ancestors, they will get angry at you if you are not moving in the right way. And especially if you're dealing with a deity that's, if you're dealing with a sensitive type of deity, a deity that really hold you to the fire. Different type of deities have different types of personalities. And if you're dealing with a certain deity and they see and they can just instantly feel that you're not right, especially after they implanted some knowledge in you. Because when people call amongst these spirits, like young Pharaoh, he's really deep off into it. He's dealing with some occult. This is just allegedly from what I see and what I believe. He is dealing with some occult energy, and the energy is not pleased with young Pharaoh. This occult energy that he's dealing with and some of the deities that he has attached himself to, they're coming back and they taunt him. They taunt him. And how I know it is because I remember looking on a few of his Instagram videos and he was just like, I haven't been sleeping. I ain't been sleep. I ain't been sleep. Yes, it could be some possible narcotic use into play, but these deities are torturing him because he is not sincere. And they see all of the things that he has gained from playing them. He's been out here playing the spirits. Just imagine if you have a girlfriend or you got a boyfriend and you've been out here with them for years and years, and you've got them comfortable with you, and they share some of their innermost, deepest, darkest secrets with you, and you go out here and you cross them, you do them dirty, and you do them low down. That's how those spirits feel when it comes to young Pharaoh. I'm not gonna say they don't feel like that when it comes to Brother Polight, because I'm pretty sure they do. You got to think he's been putting out here that we are queens and we are gods, and then allegedly, possibly, what they say you're accused of, you turned around and did that. You know what happened? That spirit was so mad at you. They said, "Oh, you want to play me? You're out here riding around in Jags. You taking pictures with famous heavyweight boxers. You out here running around with women that are not of your kind, while you sit out here and prop them up on a pedestal and told them that they were gods. That's what you did. You around here with all these wives and you're telling everybody they're gods. And then you turn around and you're doing this. I'm finna rip the sheets off of you." That's what's happening to Brother Polight. That's what I see what's happening with him. They rip the sheets off of him. Like, look at him. Look at what he does. This is your leader. This is who you guys sit up under his tree of knowledge. You sit up under his tree of knowledge. And this is who you follow. This is who you give your donations to. It's basically like, it's basically like when people say, "Oh, what's in the dark comes to the light." Those sheets got ripped off of him, and all of the lights in his dark house, everything came on. Everything came on. So, is the blame? Who is the blame? Who is the blame? To my opinion, and this is just me, that's why I said it could be an open panel, but it don't look like nobody clicked. I know I really don't have open panels either. But to my opinion, I feel like whatever a man does, that's what they choose to do. But on the other hand, I feel like some of our women could have played a big hand in it. And I'm gonna say this because when it comes to the brother Polight situation, if there wasn't a woman around, if we want all these women around with these with the situation that happened with him, it he wouldn't have had access to possibly allegedly do what they say he did. He wouldn't have had access if it wasn't for our one of our women. So in a sense, I think both parties are to blame. But just to sit back and say, oh, because he told us we were gods and he put us up on a pedestal and we never corrected him, you have to think how broken some of our women are. And they know what they're doing when they go around here and they're speaking to all these broken women in our community. When they're speaking all of this talk that they speak, and they got these women feeling good. Oh, you are a queen. Oh, you are God. You telling women with low self-esteem stuff like this. You think they're not gonna grab onto it and soak it up? It's almost like a nerdy person. They were nerdy all through high school, and they get to college and they got all these guys telling them how pretty and how beautiful they are, not knowing these guys just want one thing from you. And it's not your knowledge. They probably want it, but in a different way, if you know what I mean. If they're not coming to you telling you all of this for nothing. When they put out the whole rhetoric of, this woman is God, when they put all of that out, they were setting up their whole agenda. They were setting up their whole agenda because they know they're dealing with women with low self-esteem. They're dealing with women that probably came from homes of people in the home telling them they're nothing. They're never gonna be nothing. So when you're dealing with a broken spirit, a broken woman, you're usually able to go in and move around. That's the predator's playground. An insecure person is a predator's playground. But I don't know what you guys think about this. Do you think our women are to blame? I really don't feel like it. I don't feel like 100%. I'm just gonna say 100%. I don't feel like they're all the way to blame, but partially. Well, Kimberly was supposed to come in. I think she got tied up doing something else. But if you guys come and watch the playback, please make sure you hit that like button, make sure you share, and make sure you become a member of Talk Nation. I talk a lot about breaking news stories from everywhere. If you check out my channel, you see the breaking news stories. I dibble and dab just a little bit in the celebrity talk, but I like to stay more on the news side of things. So if you guys like that, you want to see some breaking stories, yes, most definitely, you guys check out my last video I posted. Just preview, Lil Uzi Vert. He ended up posting a picture of Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill, like an old throwback picture of them. He ended up posting that to his Instagram story. So I'm thinking Meek Mill probably sent him the picture to do it. That's what it kind of sounded like to me. Shout out to whoever just came into the building. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up video most definitely. And most definitely go back and watch the beginning of the video. And I am signing out. Katie Talk 101. Thank you so much for tuning in. And have a great Labor Day weekend. Be safe.